Hi, John. I'm Madison.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, welcome. Um, I wanted to kind of get a feel if you've ever been to therapy before and experienced this process.
This is my first time.
Okay. So, during this first session, before we get started, I'd like to kind of go over what's known as informed consent. Basically, what that means is that I'm going to give you some information that kind of will help guide you during this process, let you know what your rights are. So during this process, I'm going to be taking notes about you, specifically about the session, so that we can kind of make sure that from session to session we keep on track with what your goals are. Um, and when I keep these notes, I'm going to keep them in what's known as a medical record. That medical record is private under most circumstances. However, there may be some instances where I need to break that privacy in order to protect you for your safety and for the safety of others. And the three main instances where that would happen would be one is if you express to me that you may anticipate hurting yourself or someone else, and even in the instance of a child neglect or abuse or something like that will need to be reported and need to be addressed. The second instance is for continuity of care. We want to make sure that insurance companies will cover this, so I may need to share some basic information with them in order to make sure everything is processed appropriately. And the third instance would be as if I'm subpoenaed to take those records and give them to the court for some process. But I will let you know those things in advance. However, your right is that you can ask to see your record at any time. You would just need to fill a form at the front desk. And of course, I'm open to questions if you want to ask about anything specific in your medical record or anything during this process. Okay. Do you have any questions for me so far?
Not yet.
Okay. So tell me what brings you in today.
I've been having issues um, at work where I'm kind of around people and I get really nervous and kind of have problems as far as talking to others and um, kind of doing tasks that aren't just assigned to me, but kind of with groups. I just get really kind of nervous and um, don't don't really like. I'm not really good at talking to others.
And how long has this been going on?
I've always been kind of shy, um, but it's been getting worse. Probably the past 3 years or so, but really bad this past year. Um, I've kind of been able to make do without having to have as much contact. Um, but this past year, there's been more kind of group activities at work. It's made it kind of difficult for me to avoid, um, doing things with other people.
So when you get nervous, what kind of things happen? How do you feel inside?
I sweat
Okay.
a lot. Um, I get really red.
Okay.
Um,
Like a blushing red or just feeling hot red?
like both. Like I feel the heat, and I know that my face is like beet red too.
Okay.
Um, I get really kind of shaky at times too.
Okay.
Um, it's difficult for me to speak up. I kind of feel like my voice is really low and kind of squeaky at times. And I just feel like something bad's gonna happen.
What do you feel might happen?
Um, people are going to, pick on me or make fun of me, or think that I'm crazy or something. Um, just kind of, and talk about me. over them going to make a mistake.
Now you mentioned this happens around other people, but do you ever feel nervous when you're at home?
Not at all. I feel very, very, safe and relaxed when I'm at home.
What else do you want to tell me about that? About your nervousness at work?
Um, it's just preventing me from kind of moving forward. I would like to be, the person who talks to other people and people laugh and joke around and um, have friends, but I just feel like my body's just stopping me from doing so.
Has there been anything at work? You said this has been going on for the past 3 years, but wasn't as much before then.
Yeah.
Can you pinpoint anything that happened 3 years ago that kind of ignited this?
Um, this 3 years ago there was a merger that our company and what used to be a rival actually merged together. So there was a lot more people who came into the office and um, a lot of unfamiliar faces, I guess. Like I felt like I knew the people that were at the office beforehand, and they kind of knew me, and um, they knew I was probably a little shy, but it wasn't much of an issue because I just kind of did my thing and they did their thing. Um, but kind of when the merger came through and there's a lot of other people, um, I just felt as if people were kind of talking about me, and um, I just got really nervous, and that kind of made things worse. And um, just don't care to be out, with others.
Okay. So from what you've told me so far, it sounds like when the merger happened, a lot of new people showed up at your work.
Mm-hmm.
You were comfortable before with people that you knew. Um, so when you're with your friends, do you feel that same level of nervousness?
I don't have as many friends, but I do have a couple of old friends. Um, some of them moved away, but I still will text them or message them, and then me. Um, but I don't feel the same way when I'm talking to them.
So have you ever been to maybe a primary doctor or a psychiatrist before involving this issue?
Not a psychiatrist. I did see a doctor once and kind of mentioned that I feel like this, and um, she just kind of brushed it off a little bit. I felt that way. That it was a long time ago. Though it was probably about 5 or 6 years ago that I had mentioned it, and just telling her that I just get really anxious around large groups, and she said that was natural for people to experience that. Um, which at the time it was good to kind of know that other people go through the same thing, but there wasn't like any plan or anything to help me out when I had mentioned it.
So she didn't refer you to anybody or give you any kind of prescription? Okay. Now, I just want to ask you a few questions about your family and your background. Um, do you have any siblings?
No.
No siblings. Okay. Um, are you close with your mother and father?
Um, with my dad, my mom died when I was pretty young.
How old were you when she
I was 6.
died? So with your immediate family, do you know of any other individuals who experience nervousness or high levels of anxiety?
My dad's been an anxious person, um, but not close to how I can be at times. He just is more anxious about, um, you know, getting getting work done and things like that, but not like how I feel I am.
Is he comfortable around strangers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's always been very. He's a really friendly guy, and people like that about him.
So going further into your backgrounds, as a kid, adolescent, even a young adult, did you experience any type of trauma, like brain trauma, any injuries?
No, I broke my arm once. I don't know if that's something I.
It's probably not relevant to the anxiety,
Okay.
but I do appreciate you mentioning that. I should probably be clear. Like if you were in a car accident
No.
and had some kind of trauma to the brain or
Okay.
swelling or anything like that.
No.
Now, are you married? Have children?
No.
So what's a typical day like for you?
I'll wake up probably around 7 o'clock or so. Brush my teeth, take a shower, get ready for work. Drive in. I try to get there early, so I can kind of get to my desk without having to see other, talk to other people. Um, and I just kind of stay at my cubicle throughout the day. Um, I have lunch there. I don't go um, down to the dining hall. Just always bring my own lunch and eat it, and go back home to my apartment. Um, and I have a dog, and just kind of watch TV and um, kind of repeats. It's the same schedule for the most part.
So if you could change anything about your daily schedule to improve your life, what kind of things would you like to see that to make it different in a better way?
Part of me wants to be out with other people and have plans that are just not for myself. But then there's a part of me that totally stops that from happening. That makes me so nervous to even try anything that I don't know if that's what I want. I would like to be that guy that kind of goes out and is really good friends with other people and kind of likable. Um, but at the same time, I don't know where to start, where to begin, to the point where I'm so nervous that if I try to be like that, I'll just kind of be laughed at.
Prior to 3 years ago, do you feel as though you had a different social life?
Yeah, yeah, I had more people that I kind of went out and talked to. I just never really liked big groups, but I had a couple closer friends that maybe I would go to like a movie every now and again or something. Um, but I feel as if I just kind of stay in. Is that weird?
Is that weird?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't say weird, no. I would say that's up to you to decide what you want in life. If you would like to have more friends and you feel like this is preventing you from doing that, then you're in the right place. You're here to seek assistance with it, to get guidance.
That's good.
So kind of going back into your background history. Something I didn't ask yet was if you have any history with substance abuse or alcoholism or anything like that.
No, barely drink. In college, I used to drink a little bit more to kind of, loosen up a little bit. But alcoholism runs in my family, um, so I kind of stopped before anything.
Who in your family has abused alcohol?
My grandfather and a couple of my uncles.
Are you close with them?
With my uncles,
Uncles, grandfather?
they live in a different state, so I don't see them often. Growing up, I was closer to them.
During this process, what should happen toward the end is that maybe we can kind of work on goals. And these goals are things that you would like to achieve by the time that we're done with therapy. Um, Now you get to kind of set the goals, and I may throw out some ideas, and you can say whether you like them, don't like them, this isn't your thing. And I'm open to suggestions because we're in this together. Like I said, you're going to be the front seat driver in this. Um, so for now, how about picking 3 goals? Does that sound good to you?
Okay.
So if we could kind of narrow it down, what is the top thing that you would like to work on in therapy?
Kind of, I guess, be more likable.
And in your own words, define what you consider likable.
Kind of more friendly. Know what to say in certain situations. Kind of not nervous around other people in a way. I think that people see me and kind of see, the sweating, red-faced person. Um, so I'd like them to see kind of more of who I actually am.
So be more likable. What would be the second thing that you'd like to work on?
I'd say be more brave. Kind of do things that I wouldn't do now.
What's an example of something that you wouldn't do now but you'd like to do?
Go to a movie, or shopping at the mall with a couple of friends. I like animals, so maybe go to the zoo.
It sounds like with all of those examples that you gave, it seems as though you'd like to do a social outing with other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So depending on how much time we have in our therapy sessions, there may be time to put in a third goal. So I always like to just have a third goal sitting there on the side that we can add to the list. So if time allots us to do so, what would you like to plan to have as your third objective?
Do you have any ideas?
This is, all about you. So, if you don't have one, that's okay. We can always come up with one later if we need to.
Yeah,
But
I like that. We'll keep that open for
okay. All right. So when we set these goals, we'll have time to sit down and kind of plan things that we're going to do in each session, like baby steps to getting to your ultimate goal. Um, so since your first one is be more likable, and you said that would mean being more friendly, know what to say in situations, not feeling nervous around other people, we're going to kind of gear something toward that. So, for example, we could do like a homework assignment, or we could just simply sit down and plan, like, how would I go about introducing myself to someone I don't know at work?
now. Okay.
Um, so, do you have any ideas of things that you think would work for you to get to that goal?
I like what you just said with learning how to introduce myself to other people. Um, kind of work on things like that, like how to talk to other